Okay guys, it is hot out and I was a little slow to get going, but this just has to be done. This pile of stuff on my porch right here has been sitting for over a month. I want it gone. Here we go. A lot of this wood that I'm processing today is red oak, which is some really nice wood. I always get so excited about the wood, and I think I've got like some great wood, and then something else comes along and I get excited about it too. It's kind of ridiculous. I think I have some type of addiction problem with wood. But I mean, like, I was getting the Osage orange last winter, and there's still some more Osage orange to get. But when you think about Osage orange as far as firewood and heating, it's like top of the list, right? I mean, it's one of the top three hottest burning woods in the world, or whatever. You know, it's like just as hot, it's hotter, way hotter than oak, and I think almond is the only other wood that barely edges it out. But anyways, you get that, and it's like top of the class and heating, and you know, I even like cedar because it's just so beautiful, and the pink, you know, maroon insides, and it smells good, and it's great kindling. Now it does kind of make a little bit of fly ash, and it's not the best burner in the world. It kind of crackles and pops a little bit, but it gets burning well. If you put some cedar in around like a really large chunk of, you know, like an all-nighter chunk of oak or hickory or something, you can put some smaller cedar around it and keep a nice flame going and keep it burning. So I also like birch. There's a little bit of birch here today, and the birch that I had was just, it's very aromatic and it gets a nice flame. It also makes good kindling. The bark burns well. So everything I find, I get excited about. The maple I had that I got out of the storm damage, I was happy to have that. I mean, the inside of maple is beautiful wood, and nothing wrong with maple. So I keep getting excited about stuff, and the red oak is a great wood. And if you want to throw some in your smoker or your grill, it's good to have some red oak around, and it burns hot in the fireplace. But yeah, a lot of this wood is red oak. Oops, wheelbarrow just fell over. No problem. That's just part of the hazards of working on a hill. But yeah, I'm happy to have that red oak. A lot of this wood is red oak that we're working with today. That's what I was mentioning in the beginning of this. And speaking of being on a hill, I don't know what I'm going to do with all these pallets. I'm going to store all my wood on that back hill back there, and it's got kind of a pretty good slope to that grade. I think you could probably stack wood on an angle on a hill, though. I mean, if I put pallets down and just kind of stack it up, I think it'll stack on a downhill decline a little bit. So anyways, on with the splitting. Thanks again for watching. This channel has really turned into a lot of wood splitting, but I have managed to find some really good wood, and I'm stocking up while I can. It's great for making footage. It's good for the exercise. Like I said, I'm trying to lose weight and get in some shape here this year. Get outside, get sweating, get moving. So it's great for that. And I'm trying to get ahead for the next couple years. I mean, it seems like I have a ridiculous amount of wood right now for one person, but when you really think about it, I have enough for me to burn this year and maybe sell a couple $100 worth, and the same for next year. I got enough to burn all of next year and maybe sell 2 or 3 loads, maybe. And that's it. So it's not really that crazy of an amount of wood. It's just not. It looks like it, and I feel like I'm getting a little bit, like psycho on the wood supply. But when you figure, that pallet back on the left behind me, that's one truckload of wood. That's like $100 worth of wood right there. So if I split all of that and my friend or family called and wanted a little bit of wood, this year or next year, that's what they would get. So that whole pile is just like, a little over a rick of wood or a truckload of wood. So it's not as much as it seems really, and that's why I just go ahead and keep on making more, because I sure would like to pay for some gas and cover my costs and things selling a little bit of it. And you just got to have it. You got to have it around to be able to do that, and it takes a long time to dry and be ready and everything. So if I get into a situation where I have several people that want to buy some or whatever, you got to have it. So I'm going to go ahead and keep making it. Thanks for watching. I totally understand that this is a lot of repetitive content. The people that are into wood and splitting wood and stuff, I'm sure don't mind. Thanks for stopping by and caring and sharing your likes and caring and sharing. I'm going to keep producing. Thank you. Also, I may do some more videos coming up with my log splitter, and just do, as far as exercise, I might do cardio inside and stuff. It is really hot right now, and my videos are on a little bit of delay, anywhere from a week to 2 weeks or so. And I started doing that so I could have a regular schedule. I've been posting 3 times a week. If you're following the channel, you might have noticed, but I'm kind of trying to do 3 times a week at a regular time, and then that way, it spaces out my videos a little bit. Let me know if you think I should do real time. If you'd rather see real time, or like, it's kind of tough to do, but that means every day when you're done filming footage, you have to come in and process it and post it. But whatever, as quickly as I could process it, I could go ahead and post the videos instead of putting them in a queue and having them go every other day or whatever, 3 times a week. I kind of like the 3 times a week thing, but there's certainly times as well when I kind of wish my videos were posted. I have people asking me questions and stuff, especially about the Green Giant videos. And I've already filmed and edited and everything, a Green Giant video, and it's not even going to be posted till later this week. I could have had those questions answered in the video posted last week, but I put it in line to be posted, and you just have to wait for a couple weeks. I'm running behind. So that's just kind of what I have been doing right now. There's also another video I made coming up that's going to be posted when I'm working with my wood mauls, and somebody else just did a video that's almost exactly the same, and I've already had one filmed and did the exact same thing. It was filmed over a week ago, but it's in line to be posted still. It's not like anybody I think will notice that or really care, so to speak, but I'm just saying, I'm like, oh my gosh, I just saw another video of the exact same thing, and somebody might think that I'm trying to copy or something, and my video was made a week ago, and the only evidence I have is a photo that is from the video that I posted as a thumbnail on a different video. But anyways, just kind of stuff like that is the only thing that bothers me. Sometimes I wish my content was out there and immediately posted. But it's also nice to be regular, I think. I feel like if you have a regular schedule and you're reliable and you're there at certain times, 3 times a week, I think there's a lot to be said for that, and the YouTube algorithm and the way that people can count on videos to be there at a certain time and everything. If I posted in quote real time, or like more close to real time, it would just be completely random. It would be 2 o'clock in the morning, it would be 12 o'clock in the afternoon the next day, you know, just all over the place. Whenever I edit something, just load it and post it. So it would just be completely random all over the place. Let me know, what do y'all think? I've been kind of liking the 3 times a week, but it is also kind of annoying at times. You know, the bottom line here is I got a lot of wood splitting to do, and there's still a lot more wood to be picked up and hauled and everything, but I'm trying my best to put something new and positive out into the universe each time. And you know, it's at the same time, it's just splitting wood, so I'm not always talking and doing crazy stuff and everything. But I am trying to mix up the content whenever possible and do some different things, and the Green Giants and whatever else I can do. I'm going to be mixing it up. But like I said, the bottom line is I have over a cord of wood right now just to be split, and I don't plan on being done anytime soon. So the wood splitting is going to continue, and I will try to mix it up with some other content here and there. And on another side note, if you've been watching these videos a lot, I'm sure you've noticed my fence back there, how it's all dilapidated. Having a dilapidated fence is not fun, but I paid a lot of money for that fence. I'm not going to put a dollar amount on it right now in public, but when I moved in 19 years ago, I paid a lot of money for that fence, and I mean, I'm not talking hundreds, like thousands, and it is completely rotten. Now, I did have a cherry tree fall on it back where that gate is. All of those planks that are missing along where that gate is because a cherry tree in the woods fell over, and it broke my gate off the hinges and everything, and it was locking my gate up. I mean, if I tried to open the gate, it ran into a cherry tree that was stuck in the mud and everything. So that was actually kind of cool because I got some cherry firewood out of it. It was awesome. But it did bust up my fence. So I've been thinking, and my neighbor on the right side of the screen off to the right, he just put in a fence along that right side, and it's right next to my fence. It's like a foot away from it. And I talked to him the other day about trimming the Green Giants on his side of the fence and everything, and just about my fence and stuff. And we both talked about it, and I think I'm going to remove my fence on that right side because he just put one up a foot away from it anyways. It's a vinyl fence that'll last longer. So my fence is kind of stupid to be there anyway since he just put a new fence in. So I think what I'm going to do coming up soon is I'm going to start disassembling that fence on the right side of my house. And we're going to use his fence, and I mean, I can leave my little gate up over there, I think, and stuff if I want to, but then I can also use all of that lumber to fill in all of the empty spots. Even though it's rotten and it's getting pretty flimsy and everything, I can take the best of what's left and replace all of those missing planks, save some, back for future damage or whatever, and save some of the lumber, and then anything that's just completely rotten and broken and stuff, I can either I can dispose of in a compost pile, or I can burn it in the fire pit or something. But that's the least of my worries, disposing of the old stuff. I mean, I'll burn it in the fire pit if I have to. But I think that sounds like a good idea. So that might be, I could make a video about that even coming up too, just filming taking apart my fence and trying to salvage it. Now I'll have posts in the ground and all kinds of stuff. I haven't decided what to do about the posts yet. I don't know if they will just kind of wiggle out. I can't remember if they use cement to set those posts or not. I paid a fence company to install that fence, so I don't remember if they use concrete in them. I don't know how easy they'll come out of the ground. So either I'm going to try to wiggle them real hard and see if I can't pull them up out of the ground just manually. But if I can't, I'll probably just buzz them off with a chainsaw. I'll just knock the boards off and cut those fence posts off at the ground with a chainsaw and leave them alone, because they're all hidden behind my green giants and stuff anyway. So if the posts get cut off or whatever, but that might be coming up too. I think I'm going to start working on that. It'll probably be later this fall or winter though, because it is so hot outside. Like I said, I went out today and split wood, and it was just so humid and just nasty. So like I mentioned earlier, I might use my splitter some just to kind of get out of the heat a little bit sometimes, and then do some cardio inside on those days and stuff. But who knows, we'll see. Just a little preview about what's coming up, because that fence is just terrible, and I got to get all that dilapidated stuff out of there. Okay, so this is that cedar from the trees I cut down a video or two ago, and I'm just going to split a few rounds of this just to kind of see how easily it splits and just get a feel for what it's all about. As far as softwood, I have this cedar, and I accidentally grabbed just a couple pieces of pine from the wood yard. They both weren't a complete accident. I grabbed one on purpose, but another one, it was dark outside, and I grabbed a piece, and it ended up being a big old chunk of pine. So there's just like a tiny little bit of pine too that I have. I think I'm going to keep the cedar and the pine in one little area. That's about all I can think to do, because I'm going to end up having a lot of wood back there, and if I wanted to just dig out the cedar and pine, it might be buried, it might be 3 deep in the back of the pile if you had a cord of wood or something. But the least I can do is try to keep them together in one little group of my pine and cedar. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll just try to group them. I don't know if anybody would happen to want to request that specific type of wood. But that's what I'll do, and if I burn it myself even in my fireplace, which is what this stuff is for, I guess what I'll do is when I get to that area where there is a nice chunk of cedar and pine, I'll just mix it in. I'll have hardwood fires, and if I can reach over out of that little group and kind of bring a few sticks of cedar in with my wood bag, when I bring it into the fireplace, I'll just mix it and burn it, which is what I typically do anyways. So that's my plan with all that stuff.